Mobile teams dispatched in Daegu to disinfect the site of the country's worst mass outbreak of the coronavirus. The Shincheonji Church of Jesus, where a 61-year-old woman attended services while infected. Health authorities describe it as a super-spreading event. The mayor has advised people to stay indoors, raising fears that this city of 2.5 million is the next global hotspot for the virus.
With more confirmed cases here in Daegu than in Seoul, I'm worried that Daegu will become the second Wuhan.
The church should have been more careful.
The church has a reputation as a cult in South Korea and issued this apology. We are deeply sorry that one of our members, who thought of her condition as a cold because she had not travelled abroad, led to many in our church being infected and caused concern to the local community. This is Daegu's temporary treatment centre for people showing symptoms. More than 80 church members have confirmed infections, and there could be many more.
So far, we have checked with 4,475 church members, and among them, 544 answered that they had symptoms, so they are undergoing the virus test. We have obtained a list of remaining church members and are taking measures.
Seoul is also on edge over the virus. Health workers retraced the path of a coronavirus patient who reportedly used the train. Authorities have also banned rallies to fight the outbreak. Some families aren't taking any chances, missing big life events like this father's own university graduation and watching it online. With the explosion of infections hitting the country, many South Koreans worry the worst is yet to come.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, there have been violent clashes in Ukraine over fears that evacuees arriving in the country from China were infected with the coronavirus.
Fears over the spread of the coronavirus trigger an eruption of violence thousands of kilometres from China. Efforts to quarantine more than 70 people evacuated from Wuhan plunged this Ukrainian town into chaos. Hundreds of protesters clashed with riot police into the night.
Aren't you afraid of being infected? It has spread all over the world, even to Egypt. But those countries can't be compared with ours. Why didn't they prepare and organize this somewhere else, not in our village?
Our hospitals aren't adjusted to isolate them here. We don't want to become an isolation zone, an exclusion zone. We are going to live here, and we don't want this to become a new Wuhan.
Violence erupted outside the facility, where the evacuees are now under quarantine. Locals tried to block the road there, lighting fires and pelting the arriving buses with stones. Authorities say the 45 Ukrainians and 27 foreign nationals on board had been screened twice for the virus before being allowed to fly.
All evacuated people who are at the hospital are healthy. There are no reasons to say that they are ill. Logistical measures are underway to accommodate people comfortably.
The Prime Minister has tried to assure locals they have nothing to worry about.
The Health Minister has agreed to stay with these people in this hospital to demonstrate that there is no threat to Ukrainians.
Several officers and civilians were injured in the violence. Dozens of protesters were arrested.